Alright guys, so today we're going to be working on a matrix. Okay, there it is. We're going to be doing quite a few stuff. We're going to be replacing the link, the strut, the lower control arm, the lower control arm ball joint. We're going to be also doing that on both sides, obviously, and two door handles and the switch on the door. So yeah, let me get started here on the driver's side. Let's see what we got. We have to remove the steering. It has a pin. Take that pin off. You're gonna take that bolt out. Then we have to loosen up the axle, because we're gonna be taking this whole thing off. We are going to be taking the caliper off as well, and let's see. Oh, and the 3 bolts on the bottom from the joint on the bottom here. There's going to be 3 bolts. I'll show you guys that later. So yeah, for now, let me get the steering out of the way so we can start moving things sideways to our benefit. And possibly if I could take this off, that would be great. Yeah, let me get that done. Be right back, guys. Alright guys, so 17, and the one over here is also 17. This ball joint is still in good shape. It's stiff. So you're gonna take this guy off. You put a pair of pliers on the back to hold it in place, so you can take that nut out of the way. So that's also a 17. The reason why I'm replacing it, you can see it's not supposed to be that loose, and when you play with it up and down, it has movement, so you don't want that. Alright, so the next step we're going to do is we're going to loosen up the brake line here, and we're going to take the caliper out of the way so that we can move it, separate that, put it aside, and keep on going. Alright, be right back. Alright guys, so we got a 14 here, we got 14s here. Always compress the caliper so you can take it off easily. Let's see what else. Okay, we have to take out the axle bolt and the 2 here. So you're gonna set this aside and remove the axle bolt. So once we remove the top here, we can have movement on the arm completely. Alright, be right back. Alright guys, so we already got this loosened out. See how loose that is? Not supposed to be that loose either. Okay, so we got a 30 on the nut for the axle. We got a 30 there. Over here we got 22. Take the nut out and then push the bolt out. Now we're going to be taking this guy off. Okay, you see how it has 3 bolts from the bottom? Okay, 2 nuts and 1 bolt coming in, and that's the ball joint for the bottom. So we're going to be taking that off so we can put the new one in, and I'm going to be taking the strut from top, which is going to be these 3 bolts, well, these 3 nuts right here, so that you have more room, so I can get to the lower control arm and the bolts and have more space. We still gotta take the link off of the sway bar. So halfway there. So now let me take the pin off, the bolt, tap it with a hammer so I can take the whole arm off. And I'm gonna be taking the 3 bolts on top for the strut. Alright, be right back. Alright guys, so same thing happened. Started spinning. I'm going to replace it regardless, so I had to get the grinder and cut the nut off. It happens quite often, more than what it should, but regardless, we're getting the job done. So you can see that's out of the way. Yes, I did try to put the pliers on it to hold it and whatnot, and it did not work. So now we got this out of the way. Let's get the strut out, the 3 bolts on top, so we can get this out of the way and we can have more access to the controller. Alright, we're back. Alright guys, so that bolt right there is a 19 and it was rusted out. I had to use the torch. I had to play back and forth with it once I got it moving. It was a nightmare. The one in the back is also a 19 with a nut on top, right in that hole right there. That one came out easier. It had a lot of rust. You can see that. So, but it still came out easier. So let me get this arm off so we can take the back side of the link. We can install the new link with the arm off. That will be easier. And yeah, once we get that installed, I should be able to put the new arm, but we got to put the link first, just because we're gonna have better space. All right, let me take the arm off. Be right back, guys. All right, guys. So we got the new link on. From a 17, this one turned to a 19 now. This is the new arm with a new bolt joint. The bolts, you have to use the one old bolt. The rest is the new hardware. So now we're gonna slide it in place. I'm gonna clean up those bolts. That one, and I think it's this one. I'm gonna clean the thread on those so I can slide it back in, and we can start assembling everything back together. Alright, so let me get that done real quick. Let me clean those bolts and install the new arm. Be right back. Alright guys, so we finally got that bolt in there, that one back there, that one, and we got this one right here. So now we're in the position that we're going to put the axle in. We're going to put the axle in so we can put in the strut. We're going to present the strut, put the axle in, so then we can line this up with a strut and put a bolt through. Okay, and don't get this confused. I did that just to hold it. That goes like that. Okay, so yep, let me drop the axle, put the strut, secure it on top, and then let's keep on assembling the bottom section. Alright, be right back. Alright guys, so everything is put back together on this side. We're going to start off. I use the old nuts just because they're better quality than the aftermarket ones. So this is tight and it's on. When we come down here, we got the brake line hooked up, the link. This is tight. The caliper is on position and it's tight. The nut, it's on and crushed. The steering is on with the pin. The bottom is on with the pin. Axle is on. Everything is secure. So always double check your work before putting the tire back on. So now I'm just gonna loop this studs, and I'm gonna jump over to the other side. It's gonna be almost the same process. Hopefully not as complicated as this one. So yeah, let me get on to the other side. Let me put the tire on this side, jump over to the other side. Alright, be right back. Alright guys, so I already started on this side. I took this one off first. Then I took this one. Those are both 17. I took the caliper off already. It's a 14. Okay, now I'm gonna be taking these two off so I could loosen this guy, but first I gotta take the axle out, and it looks like this one is a little bit tight. So let's see how we do this. And yeah, see, this strut was already busted. It's wet on top, kind of seeping through the bottom already. Let me see what else. Again, this one was a little bit better than the other one because it still has a little bit of tightness to it, but on the bottom it's loose completely. So that's done. Yeah, again we got 3 12s on top. So yeah, let me take this guy off. If I can't take it, I'm gonna have to use a crowbar and whatnot to be able to take it off. But yeah, let me give it a shot with the impact and see what happens. Alright, be right back. Alright guys, so we got this one's off. Let's see, we got the axle off. We had to use a little bit of paper blaster and a little bit of heat to be able to take it off. Also taking out that 19mm bolt there with a pin. So this one should be able to come off. And from there I'm going to take the strut off. That way I can hang the caliper and the axle upwards so that I could start messing around with the lower control arm. Alright, be right back guys. Alright guys, so the 3 bolts on top of the strut are done. So now you kind of take care of that bolt right there, and the one here on the back, which is that one, that nut there, and the bottom is the bolt. Hopefully this one won't be frozen with oxidation or dirt. So yeah, let me get to taking those 2 out, and then we would be doing the replacement on the link, just because right now, so you don't have that much space. Once you take the arm off, everything is obviously open. You can take it off, replace it, and start putting the arm on. So let me get to removing those 2 bolts so we can take the arm off. Alright, be right back. Alright guys, so we took these bolts were in pretty good conditions, so it didn't give me any issues. The link on the other hand, so you can see there, I just had to cut it off. It didn't want to budge, it didn't want to come out. So it doesn't belong there. It has to come out, it has to come out. So now I'm going to put the new link on, and then I'm going to assemble the new arm and then put it in place. So yeah, let me put the link and then put the control arm in place so we can start assembling it back together. Alright, be right back. Alright guys, so we got the bolt on, we got the back one on, we got the link, and remember this goes under. Okay, now I'm going to loosen up the axle so that we can get it down. But before I do that, I'm going to install the arm here so then we can slide the axle in place and not worry about this not being out of place. And yeah, and then we can put the strut. Alright, let me get this done, install the strut, put the axle in place, and go from there. Alright, be right back. Alright guys, so I already put everything back together. Like always, it's the same process when you took it out, just backwards. And always double check your work. So we got that one tied down, the one in front, that one right there tied down. We got this in place, this is tight, this is tight, and it has a pin on it. The arm on the bottom is tight and it has a pin on it. The axle is tight and it's pushed in. The arm right here is secure, the caliper is secure, so everything is back in place. The only thing that I'm missing is tie down the strut on top, tie down the 3 nuts, and that's it. So now I'm putting the tire back on. All this plastic just put back in place. Now I'm putting the tire back on, and the suspension is done. So that's how you do the suspension on a matrix. Alright guys, and I already did the door handles on the back and the switch. I didn't get to record that. I was waiting for my charger to charge the battery on the drill, and I was doing that. Meanwhile, I was waiting for that to happen. So yeah, those are the old parts. This is the new stuff. And like always guys, help me help you. Subscribe to the channel so I could grow. And if you guys have any questions, like always, write me, text me, on messages, and I try to answer any questions you guys have. Alright guys, till the next one. Later.